All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the pre-market show. I'm here with my good buddy Mike, and we actually have in the background somewhere, Carlos is here from Thailand, but his feed is not quite of the quality that we could get him into the feed. That's what took us a couple minutes to get started. We were trying to figure out how to get it so that we could show you live scenes from Thailand, but instead you got Mike in the green room.
Yes, the green room. I was on standby, so we were there.
There you go. And of course me back here in the home office. So it's all good. It's we're here, we're live. Hopefully all our friends on YouTube are out there as well, joining us. And yeah, it's pretty exciting for us because we have this whole team who's converged on Thailand. It's always a great time when they have these offsite events. Mike and I, of course, somebody has to get the real work done, right? So here we are. So
this is the first one I've missed in like 5 years.
Me too.
I was just thinking about
Me
that.
too.
Like,
yep.
oh. And instead, I'm here in snowy Kansas City enjoying frigid weather. I love it.
You and I are normally always there. So this is the first time in like 8 years we've been doing these things that I think I've missed one of the big events. So it's what can you do, right? It had to happen eventually. We'll leave it to some of the others to have some fun. They'll have to have some extra fun for us. In fact, I was a little bit earlier this morning. The team was sharing some videos. You know that the fun has started when you get. Let's see if I can get this on a screen here. We've got. Let's see if I can put it here. Hold on. We've got Brian swing trading from Thailand. Hold on. Where's the screen with Brian? Here he is. Here's Brian. Brian swing trading. So
swing trading, I love it.
he's out there. They're having some fun in Thailand. So off they go. Anyways, hopefully they're having a ton of fun and going to get ready for live trading themselves. So we'll see how that goes in the chat room. Of course, we'll be here with you through the open. Let's get down to business, guys. We got a couple things to cover. We'll start with the economic calendar. Mike, I've got your face on there, but I had put things together. We're still catching up on some data. My different sources had different information, so I believe that this data that I've got here on the screen is coming out, but I'm not actually positive, as we're still catching up on sort of some old data. As far as you know,
as far as I know, it should be coming out, but do we really even care anymore?
Well, that's a good point.
A month without it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. 2 months essentially without data, and the market has ignored it. It doesn't seem to matter whether data comes out or not. The market just goes on and does its thing. So as we can see this morning, if we look at the gappers list, it is just chock full of things, up and down, moving higher, moving lower. This market is pretty crazy. I mean, we have this market that's just been moving. Let's look at a daily chart here, and you can see how, last week, a week when we were not expecting big volumes, obviously with the Thanksgiving holiday, you expect things to be pretty quiet, and yet the market decided to move higher. But it moved higher in sectors you might not expect. Healthcare was just a standout. Healthcare, for the most part, was just moving incredibly aggressively higher. Whereas tech, which we normally rely on, was a laggard. It was probably the least or the worst performing sector in the market. I was looking at Trading Terminal earlier today, and if you go out there to tradingterminal.com, you can get a great source of information. Let's pull it up here. And when I look at that, you can see how we've got you got to look at the heat map, and you can sort of see where the focus was, and it was definitely not in the tech sector, right? It was not there. Let's look at maybe a weekly chart here. You can see NVDA being down big, but healthcare, where'd healthcare go on me? It moved. It was up in this corner before. It's moved. Anyways, but you can see there was a lot of green and a lot of here's healthcare down here. And over the course of the last week, again, we had some growth there and some interesting moves. So it's sort of fascinating. If generally today we're seeing a down day with a lot of stuff in the red, but over the last week, right, very, very green. So anyways, it was certainly an interesting time that we had, and some great trading. I had some great trading last week, but you had to be really careful, right? Like Friday was actually a really tough day. I found only a half day on the markets. I got one tiny little trade off at the open, and that was it. I did nothing for the rest of the day, and I was happy to have sort of sat on the sidelines because it was not super easy. Things were pretty choppy. So let's see. Hopefully it'll go better today. As I said, we got lots of stuff here on the gappers list. We're going to take a look at some of those. We'll do our usual and go through that list and see what we can find that's moving. Let's start with the thing that's at the top of the list on AHMA. This is a ticker that I'm really not familiar with. I don't think we've ever seen it on our list before.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Ambitions, entertainment? What the heck is this? Ambitions, enterprise management. Oh,
Management Company LLC. It's out of the UAE. It's travel sector.
Okay.
And other than that, there's not much news on it anywhere. I've looked up on Yahoo as well as FinViz and Trading Terminal.
Okay.
So.
Look, I'm just looking at it here. If you look at a daily chart, you can see that the average daily volume on this thing is 300,000 shares. There's a clear indication that generally this thing doesn't trade. However, we have 3.5 million shares traded today, which means we're like 11, 12 times its normal volume, and the opening bell hasn't even rung. So, like, it's obviously in play, but you've got to treat this like a super high-risk, low-float trade if you're going to try and take it, and know that this is going to have the volatility to match. So, not the type of thing that I normally focus on myself, but I know there's a lot of people that do. You got to be just ready for it to halt. That's likely in the cards for it as we get towards the open, but not something I'm going to spend too much time watching. All right, so let's move on to the next thing on our list. Yeah. CSIQ, which we have seen a couple of times on the list. Not something that we've traded, but it's been here. Canadian Solar sort of surprises me that it keeps popping up on our list. 700,000 shares, up 11% this morning. Price action doesn't look great, Mike. Was there some news on it?
Yeah, price action doesn't look great, but there is some news on it, and they decided that they are going to resume direct oversight of their U.S. manufacturing operations. So they're bringing everything back ashore. That's kind of where this news evolves around. So bringing it back to North America from overseas. That's what's kind of driving it. It looked better earlier, probably about before 7 o'clock, but now it's kind of dying off. Nothing really there.
Yeah, I agree. It's looking pretty flat. We have put an eye to this in days gone by, so in the last couple of weeks, and it never really sort of gets the continuous volume that you need to be able to actively trade it. So I think we'll just pass on it, and we'll keep moving. The next thing that was sitting on the list there, it just jumped up here actually, was Wolfspeed. We've seen a few times on the list. It's got, it's just on our list. It's up 8% with only 300,000 shares. This is another low volume trader. It only gets about 1.6 million shares on average. So I'm imagining it's got some news, but it doesn't look like it's enough to make it that exciting, Mike.
So yeah, I got 696 million in Section 48D cash tax refunds from the IRS. So getting money back from the IRS. So it's happy about that. But like you said, the news isn't really going to drive this one.
Right. Okay. Well, let's take a look at our gappers list. There's stuff that's moving around on it. I'm seeing
the next one down is actually interesting, Peter. It's one that We don't typically trade Synopsys. However,
Yes.
it's related. Its news is related to NVIDIA.
Okay. Let's talk about it then.
Their, yep, their stock spiked as NVIDIA announced a $2 billion investment in the company. So, came out today. NVIDIA, it's also why on the gappers, you're going to probably see NVIDIA down a little bit. They haven't quite hit 2%. They're actually pulling back. They're only down 1% now. But when the news came out, NVIDIA was down and this stock jumped up. So doing some investment in the AI industry again.
More money funneling between the AI players here. So this might be in play. The volume's a little low this morning. You can see if we look at a 5-minute chart. I mean, it did make this great move up. Now it's just moving sideways. We'll have to wait and see if volume sort of picks up as we get towards the opening bell. Then Synopsys could be a potential trading opportunity. I do like this type of news, like you point out, Mike. When we get the investment, it can sort of create a little bit of interest. That being said, NVIDIA is not the golden child that it was just a couple of weeks ago. I mean, having dropped from the highs. Now, let's face it, it's not all doom and gloom. Like, we're still in pretty, elite high-end territory here. You can see I've got all sorts of levels because we've been trading in this range since August. And it's, it's at the top of NVIDIA's trading range. However, it's certainly not the 200 plus price that we saw on it at the end of October, as it's now trading around $175 this morning. So that being said, I mean, investment from NVIDIA is still good news. So Synopsys might be an option. So let's keep it on. I'll keep it on watch here just in case. We'll see what happens.
Just see what it does.
Yeah, absolutely. The next one on the list is, let's see, what have I got here? CDE. This is not a familiar ticker. Coeur Mining. So is this a French mining company? Coeur means heart in French.
Yeah. So the remaining ones that are kind of here on the gap up list are all going to be the metals. So metals have increased, right? Gold mining, silver mining. B, which we see on there, it is exploring an IPO of its gold assets. So this is all around current, or not currency, but the gold, the silver industry is why they're gapping up.
Okay. So yeah, if we get a lot of those, when you get those industry moves, they tend to, especially mining. You guys probably know by now if you've been with us for a while. I'm not a big fan of the mining sector just because they don't move, right? I want stocks that move and get consistent volume, and we just don't typically see that on the mining stock. So you're right, Mike. If I look at this list here, I see CDE, I see AG, I see there's a whole bunch of mining offerings, so maybe we'll just skip over those and say if you guys want them, they're there for you, but it's not something that we're going to spend a lot of time focusing on today. So anything that's gapping up that you have an eye on that maybe didn't make our list here this morning?
Actually, there is not much that is gapping up anywhere, but BABA is almost up 2%.
Okay.
Which is a Chinese stock that I just kind of keep off to the side and keep it on my if I don't see anything else, maybe. So we'll see how it goes at the open. Does it get some volume? Does it get some good price action movement? Right now, it's only got about 400,000 shares. But the interesting thing about it is it's going against the trend of the market. So that's kind of why I want to just keep it there in the peripheral. Maybe it provides an opportunity. Maybe it won't.
Right. That's fair. Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. And let's go to the gap down list this morning. As you can see, we got a whole ton of stuff that's here gapping down because the market overall is red. And when the market is red, that tends to bring a lot of stuff with it. We'll start with the top of the list, BMNR. Which is up here, gapping down. I got dyslexia. Spelled it wrong. There it is.
I do too as well.
All right. 3 million shares traded, down 7%. So even the top of our list, not down a huge amount, frankly. So, while a lot of stuff is gapping down, it's not like it's down huge. This, I notice, does trade on the American Stock Exchange, which means I like it even less, but just because the fees are higher. But anyways, but that's okay.
Yeah.
BMNR, we have seen this a number of times. It tends to move up and down depending what's happening on the day. This makes me think, I wonder what crypto prices are doing this morning. Did you look those up yet, Mike?
I'm assuming from all of the stocks on this gap down list that it's going down. Because that's typically what is hitting these first few stocks we're going to go through is anything in the crypto markets. Bitcoin, BMNR it basically goes with Ethereum. Ethereum's not doing so hot, so
yeah, and you're absolutely right. I'm just looking.
It's down.
Yeah, I'm looking at Bitcoin prices. It's sitting at 85,700 right now, and that's down from about 91,000 that it had been sitting at all weekend. So the last 3 or 4 days, actually, it was sitting around 91,000. It's dropped back to that level it had at the beginning of last week. So yeah, that makes sense. That's why we're going to see all of these stocks that are sitting on here: the Cypher, CleanSpark, Mara, Riot, IREN, MSTR. Like the whole list is populated with these things. So pick whichever one you want. Coin, yeah, they're all here. So let's pick a couple. Let's see what Joby is doing. I do like Joby. At least it's my my aviation company. It doesn't look like it's trading great volume. You can see it's pretty spotty here. So unless there's some massive news, which I doubt there is, because it's only down about 5%, 600,000 shares. So that looks like it's roughly in line with Joby when it wants to go somewhere. And how about Robinhood? Hood down 3.8%, 680,000 shares. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's doing anything special. Hood has actually been a fairly decent trader. I know a number of people in the room have been keeping an eye on it. And that's good news, because they can let us know from the chat room when things happen and when the moves occurred. Now, it did have a good move up last week. You can see here on the daily chart how it had popped up and on Wednesday and then held that gain on Friday. But today we are, of course, gapping down, but still in the range of where we traded on Wednesday. So Hood is pretty healthy, and might be worth keeping on a secondary list just in case it moves. I'm not really sure what to watch today. Like, we don't have great candidates. So
there is the other sector. As we scroll down, you're going to see quantum in there, and then of course you're going to see AI as well. But it seems more like the list right now is, hey, Thanksgiving in the U.S. happened on Thursday. Friday was a half-day trading. Majority of traders probably took the day off to make it a 4-day weekend. Now we're back. Let's kind of reassess where we're at, and let's move money at the beginning of the month to the places we want it. And so you're getting a downtick in the crypto market. You're getting a downtick in AI. You're getting a downtick in quantum stocks. So, but what I did kind of do is look for some stocks that had some news outside the traditional market move. Micron,
yeah, let's get them. Okay.
MU.
Yeah.
It actually announced a $2 billion investment into. Oh, sorry, not the $2 billion. That's not the $2 billion one. They have a chip factory in Hiroshima that they are going up, which is actually $9.6 billion.
Oh, that makes more sense.
They're investing, into an HBM chip facility at Hiroshima in Japan. So they have some news. They are down 2% right now. You can expect that they're expending cash. So usually the stock takes a hit, but they have had a very, very good run up and been kind of off our radar, as we prefer AMD and NVDA over Micron, but they have some news. So
that's Just as an aside, that's got to be great news for Hiroshima. You got to think they've got an image problem, because when I hear Hiroshima, you know,
Bad visions come up, right?
yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, it's I'm thinking, you know, it's only associated with one thing, frankly, but that's long behind them. Anyways, I guess it's good that they're getting some investment. So, all right, well, so yeah, MU. Now, it's always tough to tell how on those investment stories how stocks are going to move. Micron might give it a boost, or at least some better momentum today. As we can see, the entire chip sector is gapping down this morning. 1% to 2%, depending which one they're at. So MU is down 2%. We'll see where it goes. So that's worth keeping an eye on. Mike, anything else that you've got a focus on?
NVIDIA, just again, we talked about it with its deal earlier, but they sold off. They kind of bottomed out here around 173 and have kind of recovered back up to 175. So it's kind of putting in a range around the news. So NVIDIA could be good. Other than that, I'm going to be really focused on the Magnificent Seven, unless I hear anything come across the breaking news on Trading Terminal.
Right, and that's fair. You know, those Magnificent Seven stocks, we talk about them a lot, right? So everybody, that's like Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Tesla. I think that's 7. Google, for example, I mean, it has been just on fire, and much more than the rest, than their sort of peers in that group. The last couple of days, they've been moving sideways, but moving sideways at all-time highs. So Google absolutely has been in play. It doesn't look anything special, although you could argue it's actually gapping down less than a lot of the others. It's down less than 1%, with, I would say, about average volume on they have two tickers, don't forget, GOOG and GOOGL. Anyways, I always look at GOOGL because it gets slightly more volume. It's trading about 850,000 shares so far this morning, and it's looking okay. So I think it's absolutely worth keeping an eye on. Speaking of those, Tesla is always another interesting one to watch. It actually had some increase last week. If you look at the chart, sort of moved up last week against some of the other stocks. Not huge amounts, but it did move higher, and I just always find good trading on Tesla. There's always an opportunity if you're willing to pick your spot. Of course, this morning when we look at it, you can see largely moving sideways in a sort of pretty tight range here, so not a lot happening. However, don't let that phase you. At least I don't. Tesla, we know, can take off at any point in time. The other one, which was interesting last week, was Apple. At times had some very interesting moves. This morning it doesn't look like it's doing much, but again, if you look at Apple on a daily chart, let's get over here to the daily chart, you can see it's sort of at this regional high. Now this is, if I recall, this is not an all-time high, right? Or is it? Maybe Apple is at all-time high. Yeah, it is. Look at that. All right, so it is at all-time highs here. So it's hanging out in a range that to me is very interesting because, despite the market overall being down, Apple has sort of said, hold my beer. I got this, and has been able to hang out here. So, which means it could very well, if you look at where it sits now, there's a very easy range down to 265 that it could move, which is a $12 move on Apple is pretty big. Or of course, it could go higher if the market decides to turn around, which it could. So that I feel like this is a good time to remind everybody, just because the market is gapping down this morning, don't allow that to influence you too much about the direction of the market when the opening bell rings. As Mike pointed out, with the shortened week last week, we had a lot of money that was sitting on the sidelines, and as such, there's some market catch-up that's going to be happening. And it's virtually impossible to predict whether that's going to move the market higher or low. It really depends on where that money's going to go and how that's going to affect the market overall. So, I'm going to watch. Go ahead, Mike.
Amazon's actually moving right now.
Okay.
I've tried to find some news on it if anybody can get there. I think Harvey got a nice one. Some money probably being spent on Cyber Monday into Amazon might be affecting it right now.
Yeah,
But
I was seeing some articles on the weekend of that. Of course, they always talk about what the Black Friday, Cyber Monday type sales are going to do for the companies. I mean, it's already built in, or at least normally it's sort of factored into their price. But hey, maybe it's going to be an extra good Cyber Monday. I haven't bought anything. Maybe I need to go shopping.
I did.
Did you? Okay.
Yep, I bought a TP Link Deco mesh system to hopefully get decent Wi-Fi while I'm down in the DR.
Okay.
Because I've run into a problem down in the DR because the buildings are made out of concrete. So you got the Wi-Fi, and where we stay at and where I set my computer up, I got to go through one solid concrete wall and 2 solid doors. So I figured this time I'm just going to keep reinforcing the signal after every
Okay.
part that degrades the Wi-Fi. So, and hopefully this time
Nice.
I can get it, because the Wi-Fi is good. If I go out where everybody is, I got great Wi-Fi. It's just back in the bedroom I don't. So we'll see.
Wow. Yeah.
I'll be right back, Peter. Got to do some sun duties. 2 minutes.
All right. You take care of that. Look, just to get some news from our chat room. This is always good, where A. Vance Lake is sending out some news on MSTR. Let's take a look at what their stock is doing. They just apparently say that they may actually sell its Bitcoin derivatives while trading. Blah, blah, blah. Being that they're trading so low, it's in the best interest of the shareholders and the Bitcoin community. I like how they're making it like the statement makes it sound altruistic. Really, it sounds like they're trying to maybe jump off a sinking ship. But their stock, as you can see, hasn't done all that well over the last 4 or 5 months here. As they've been going down since July, early July. So it's a little problematic for them. But yeah, MSTR, will it be in play? Well, we've got almost 1 million shares traded so far this morning. It's down a little more than average at 4.7%. So yeah, maybe. We'll have to see. It's might be worth putting on the list here. Why not, right? We don't have a whole lot on the list. I'll put it on here, and we'll keep an eye on it for things that, at the very least, we can set some levels and help get ready for this open. All right. Mike is back. We can bring him back in.
Yes, I'm back. Bring me back.
Yeah, he's back, baby. Okay. So what else? What else have we got? Well, frankly, you guys have already touched on all the stuff that I normally look at. My watch list consists of, NVIDIA, Tesla, and AMD, which we've already talked about, and it's typically, my go-to. We've already talked about SNPS, Hood, and MSTR, so we'll keep an eye on these 6 for now. And if something better comes up, then by all means, we can jump into it. All right. All that being said, I'm being told in Thailand. So hello to everybody in Thailand. I can't hear you, but I want to say hi. Apparently, we're up on the big screen there as they get ready for their evening trading. Oh, and Brian's in the chat room saying hi. So on YouTube you can't hear him, but in the chat room you can. It's pretty cool, actually. I always love those live trading sessions. They're a lot of fun. So I hope everybody there is sober enough to trade properly. I'm sure you're all behaving well, right?
Well, it's a wellness retreat. They're not consuming alcohol, remember?
Oh, right. Well, we miss you guys too. Mike and I do. We were just saying how, you know what, this is the first time Mike and I have not been to one of the big conferences, so we're both feeling it, but I guess we had to give the joy to someone else. So you guys have fun for us. We'll have fun back here. Very cool. Yes. Oh, look at that. We've got a live shot. Let me see if I can bring this over here into the.
That's pretty good. I like that.
So here is the where'd my photo go? There it is. There. Apparently that's what it looks like. They got the dance floor in the middle. I guess so. They can go breakdancing in the middle when they have a successful trade, and everybody's set up around the outside to start trading there in Thailand. So I'm very disappointed, though. You guys seem to be in a place without a view of the beach, but I guess it's nighttime, so we wouldn't see much anyways, would we? But I was hoping for some beautiful views, but you'll have to send some pictures to us later. All right, with that, why don't we check and see? We still have a full slate of activities happening here in the Bear Bull trading community. So, the fun doesn't stop just because a lot of our team is gallivanting off around the world. So let's, Mike, if maybe you can sort of let us know what's happening in the for our webinars and out there. Let me call it up here, and you can talk about what's happening on this one lovely Monday.
Awesome. So here, starting at noon today, we will have Nathan that will be going over Order Map or Market Atlas. This is your chance to go into the BBT Elite webinar room and ask your questions about Market Atlas and order flow. He also focuses in on VPA and other aspects of the program. It's one of the programs Andrew has developed recently, and it has become a favorite within the community. So if you're new to the community, you need to know about the product or want to know about it, Nathan is our resident expert on that product. So you can go ask your questions at noon. And then this evening, Carlos will not be doing onboarding, but we have Dwayne who will be doing the onboarding. So we are not going to miss onboarding today at 8 p.m. for any new members to the Bear Bull Traders community. This is I highly encourage you to go here. If you've signed up within the last month or so, it's even great if you've been around for a few months. He's going to cover kind of where to find stuff, how to contact people, going to talk about the events we do, talk about the platforms we have, the resources, the tool, the education, and how to get started as a trader within the BBT community. So that's what we got going on Monday.
We should talk about Peak Capital Bootcamp because it's coming up here soon. We're going to. I mean, the one current session is just about to end. New session will be starting in 2026. Mike is the guru, the man who knows all about it. You want to maybe share a little bit about bootcamp for everybody?
Yes. So we have Peak Capital Bootcamp that is going on today. Or finishing up, like Peter said, this is the final week, and then we will transition to our next boot camp coming in January. This is our mentorship program. It is where, hey, I'm a trader. I've been going at this alone, trying to figure this out. I think I got a strategy. I've done some work, but I just can't get the profitability that I want yet. So I need some guidance and I want some help. And so that's where Peak Capital Bootcamp comes in. We got Peter, myself, Carlos, John, Megan, Lenny, who I'll talk about here in a sec, Thor, Nathan, Brendan, all of us are there to help you with different aspects of the boot camp. And in January, we're going to have a morning session where we have live trading with Thor and the other group mentors that are there. During the afternoon at 1 p.m., we'll have a mind book session with Dr. V. Carlos will be doing an opening range breakout strategy session. On Wednesday, Megan will be talking market analysis and how to look at the market from a different perspective. Then Thursday, Eamon comes in and does higher time frame analysis. And then on Fridays, we'll talk about that when we get to Friday. I do a boot camp prep meeting to help everybody get ready for it. Then in the evenings, we have actually 3 evening sessions now. We have a trade book meeting that will go on Monday, solely designed to help you develop that strategy, test it, and draft your trade book. Nathan and Thor will be doing Market Atlas and VPA meetings. And then one that is not on here that we have confirmed over the weekend is that Lenny will be doing an investing strategy course for people that want to look at how they can invest with long-term stuff such and into the AI sector. So we'll be updating that as well. that's in there. The one thing I encourage you, if you are looking to do this, sign up now. The reason being is you get instant access to the Essentials course, which is the pre-work that we want you to do for boot camp prior to it starting, so that you have a strategy laid out that we can help you with. Because there's nothing worse than having somebody email us a screenshot of their trade. They say, "What do you think of this trade?" And I'm like, "Well, it's not a high day break, so it sucks," right? No, that's not what we want to do. If you have a plan of what you want to trade, right, and you send me that screenshot, then I can actually give you detailed feedback on whether you followed your plan. What do I see with the aspects that you're doing? So that is the type of education that we provide there. The other thing about the live trading sessions is they're not like what you see us do on YouTube and in the chat room. These are actual educational live trading sessions where we're talking to you about our setups, what we see, where we're placing our stops. This is where we're looking to take a partial. This is what I'm seeing in the market. Am I going to take this trade? What did just popped up that I don't like that may prevent me from taking the trade? And if the person running the session doesn't have any trades, we ask you to do the same thing. Walk us through the trade setup that you're about ready to take. And it's all done in Google Meet.
Yep. So they're very intensive, great
we
sessions. And if you're,
I went long.
there you go. And if you're interested, now's the time to join. We have, of course, we have our regular, memberships, but right now we've got our Black Friday sales, which are still happening. You still have a couple hours to take advantage of that with these offers. And the best value one here on the left is the one that you want that includes the boot camp. It bundles that, 1 year access to the chat room, all of the educational courses Mike talked about, plus the entire library of educational material that we have at Bearable Traders. I mean, you'll have so much, you won't be able to get through it, I promise you. But it's your best session if you really want to sort of get intensive over the next 3 months. If you're not interested for that, then you just want to join the Bearable Trading chat room. That's a great option too. You can see we've got a couple of different options here for you to take advantage of. So go to the website, scroll down, you can see those offers available. And as you can see, there's a countdown timer. You only got 11 hours to take advantage of those deals. So get on to it now. I also want to give a shout out to Arlene, who's out there in Thailand, literally flying the flag for Bearable Traders. So just sent a little picture, posted it in the chat room. So just wanted to say, hey, I saw that. Thanks for posting that. Cool little shot that you sent. So
Yes.
All right, guys. We, as Mike said, we're actually doing pretty good on time. While there's so much moving, it's all in groups, right? And it's moving sort of structured with the market here. So I think whatever you're going to choose to trade today, there's some good opportunity. Like the market is still gapping down, but like I was saying earlier, don't let that dictate too much your view of the direction of the trade, because look at where things have been going over the last few minutes. We've definitely been an upward trend since 8 o'clock. So over the last hour, the market's been moving up from the lows it set just before 8. So, I don't know what's going to happen at the opening bell, but I'm going to be ready either way. I'm not going to have a strong opinion until the market tells me, right? Based on the momentum and the price action, I'm going to let that dictate any trades that I do take this morning. I hope you do the same. So if anything, I didn't really have a rant today. Can we have a rant? Hey, get off my lawn. Anyways, really, it's this is some of the best trading can happen at this time of year, in my opinion. But it's also some of the trickiest trading, right? Because it's not always obvious the direction that the market's going to go based on what happens at pre-market. I find that I love these days, but my strategies, if you know by now, don't always happen right at the opening bell. They happen a little bit later. So I've got a little bit of time to get ready, sort of ease myself into the day, to figure out the way the market's going and to attune myself to that direction. And I find that it serves me very well. I love fall trading because it really gives me some of my best trades of the year. because we can get good big moves, but they take a little while to set up. So just pay attention to what the market's telling you, right? Don't get so opinionated that you're going to ignore those signals. So that would be my advice for today. And there you go. There's Peter's rant for the morning, since everybody loves him so much. So, all right. Here we go. So with all that being said, we're looking pretty good. Let's set a couple of levels here. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, I've got a couple of things that we're keeping an eye on, and we can sort of see where we think they might move to should they decide to move. I'm going to start with NVIDIA on the list because it's a constant companion. And if I look at the daily chart, well, as I showed you, I've got tons of levels set on NVIDIA already. Like, I barely have to do anything. You can see all these purple lines you can see on my chart. Really, those are indicating where previous areas of support or resistance existed. And I'm going to use those today because we are sitting within that range, right below. I've got 171.85, I've got 168.82, both areas where the stock had support in the past. From a resistance to the top side above the current price, you can see I've got just basically 180. 179.68 and another level above that at 183.40. Of course, when you deal with these stocks, you always have to look at the big dollar values, right? The $10, the $100, right? All of those even dollar numbers, those always have a big influence, and the stock can often stop at those prices, or at least hesitate. So be aware of that, and you'll be well set. Tesla, sort of a similar position, right? Tesla's very much mid-range price-wise to where I've previously set levels. So you can see I've got levels here on the downside at 416.37 and 390.87. That's a little aggressive to a downside. That would be a $35 move. And my God, Tesla would feel horrible if it hits there. But I'm ready should it happen. To the top side, you can see I've got levels up at 439.85 and 467. A big range here on Tesla as it can move. Maybe if we zoom in here on a 60-minute chart, we could see, well, based on that current 425, I'll say roughly price, is there anywhere closer in? Well, maybe here to the downside, right? I'd want to be watching about $420. That's a good place to watch. And we know 420 has a special significance here on Tesla, so you always got to watch 420. And to the top side, well, I don't see really much other than the previous day close at 430 is clearly a good area to keep an eye on. So that's probably good for Tesla for us this morning. The other one I always have on my list that we haven't really talked about much this morning is AMD. Really not a lot to talk about there. It's not doing anything special. It's just one of my favorites. You can see I've got a whole bunch of levels already set, so I won't be doing too much with it unless AMD shows movement. Usually that's not the open, by the way. AMD has actually been trading fairly poorly at the open, but later on it can give some really good moves. So worth watching a little bit later. Of the stuff we have on the gappers list, were you going to jump in there with something, Mike?
No, I just see Andrew popping up in the chat room, and I like the background on it. There's a nice big walls, concrete. It looks great. Yeah. Man, more jealousy. More jealousy.
Okay.
What was I thinking? Not going.
That's often the way it happens, isn't it? That we don't. There he is. No. There he is. He's taking a picture of a picture. So we can wave back at him. Hey, Andrew. There you go. You can tell it's a little laggy because we're getting it's all spotty his feed there. But anyways. Let's take a look at the few things that we've got gapping here that we said we'd put an eye to. SNPS, Synopsys, which did have that news. It's one of the few that's gapping up here this morning. $450 is the current price, and I see some levels here. I would think I'd want to watch up here at 471.50 ish. I think that's got an area. Now I don't know how much this moves on an average day. What's the average range? It's not going to be that big. Normally this thing only moves about $8 a day. So, that would be a pretty big move. But obviously, we're out of that range, having moved $32 already this morning. So, it's absolutely there. And then to the downside, well, like 400 is a whole dollar number. Right here, though, look at this. This is an excellent area, 435 to watch if this thing drops. It should get some support in here, absolutely, because it used it as resistance, then it used it as support as well. So, right in that area is a place to watch on Synopsys. The other one that we were talking about was MSTR. If you like that, I mean, MSTR, like we said, it's had some struggles over the last couple of months, and it's definitely at the low end of this. If I sort of zoom in a little bit, well, pretty much the this low here at the low of the day that was set a little bit earlier at 165.50 is an area to watch. It's just a little bit below the current price. And then we've got to go to a broader daily chart if we want to see, because the price has not been here in quite a while. So if it's going to move to the downside, we have to go all the way back to last year. Then we can sort of see areas where it might have had some support or resistance. If I was to put a level, boy, there's not a great level in here, but I would definitely watch 155 if we get a big move to the downside on MSTR. Again, I'm thinking downside based on the news. However, as I said, don't let it influence you too much. This thing could pop to the top side. If it does, well, then we have the highs of the previous 2 days. In fact, the lows of the previous 2 days. That'll give us some areas of support and resistance that you can leverage. So keep that in mind. All right, the last one that we had mentioned was Hood. We'll take a very quick peek at Hood. I already have a bunch of levels set on this because we've watched it. We're sitting at a price of 123.50 right now. Previously, I had flagged 117.70. You can see here on my chart as an area to watch. I still think that's relevant to the top side. Well, basically, the highs of the previous 2 days I'm going to watch, which are here, 129 and 130 roughly. So that's worth keeping an eye on here for Hood if it gets moving. Right now, the volume looks okay, but not great. So I'm not exactly sure what's going to move. Like we were talking about earlier, right? We got lots of stuff on the gappers list. You got lots to pick from, but be a little judicious, right? Be careful about what you're picking so that you can take advantage of the moves if and when they happen. Mike, maybe you can let us know what some of our moderators are watching. Some of them are getting their lists in. Let me get this up on the screen here, as you guys can maybe look at the chat room and see what's happening. As Andrew and Brian are already joining in there. Let's give that full screen view. You guys can see that. There you go. They can wave at us. We can wave back. Yeah.
So today, Thor is just going to be watching for pivot bot calls. Otherwise, might not be trading out there. Andrew will be watching usual suspects to include Tesla, Hood, PLTR, AMD, and NVIDIA. Megan is going with NVIDIA, Tesla, and Apple. Jared, Tesla, MSTR. So we know Jared, he likes that crypto. He's going to be dabbling into that pullback in the crypto realm. Brian will be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, Marvel, Apple, the Qs, as well as the SPY. I'll be keeping an eye on Amazon, NVIDIA, and Tesla. Phil doesn't like much, so he might be just sitting on the sideline. And then we got Carlos, who's out there that didn't post his watch list, but I see him in a picture, so I'm sure he will be trading something along the NVIDIA, AMD, or Tesla range. He typically likes to trade that stuff. So that's what our monitors.
There they are.
Look at those big walls. Man, that's just an awesome room.
Big high ceilinged room. We're getting pictures come in from people in our chat as some of our members are there in Thailand that chose to make the trip. I said it's an awesome experience. If you've never been to one of the Bearable Traders events, I mean, we love them. It's unfortunate for Mike and I, we just couldn't personally make it, but don't worry, people filled the spots. It is sold out, and it's always a great event. So, all right, in the chat room, we're going to hand it over to Brian and Andrew. We're going to be trading live with the team, or they're going to do their best here. We'll see how the internet holds up for them as they're in time. If not, the bar's open, so I don't think they're terribly worried one way or the other. And guys, just for everybody's awareness here on YouTube, we are going to be we'll be trading live with you through the open. We're going to be ending today at around 10 o'clock, so just be aware of that we'll be cutting off our live YouTube feed at around 10 this morning, just today. So let's get going here. So we'll hand over to the chat room. We'll keep going here on YouTube for everybody, and off to the races. All right, I just
enjoy
have to
everybody out there.
Yeah, trade smart, especially if you're in Thailand. Love you guys. Miss you. Okay. Here we go. Mike, let me just, I got to get my platforms ready. See what else. I don't even know what to watch at the open here, frankly.
I'm just happy that I finally got an email from Das that I will be up and running tomorrow. I'm so happy about that. I think the Thanksgiving holiday week kind of prolonged the painful process of moving from account to account.
Yes, yeah, you've been dealing with that for a while. I'm a little surprised it's taking so long.
Yeah.
But
So, but I got it switched over. That's the important thing. So, got it moved. And
all
finally.
right. There you go. See, some of our YouTube friends, you guys are like, I wish you were there. I hear you. I wish I was there too in Thailand. But oh well, not this time.
Yes, I know
Not
we're not.
not this time. Not this time.
And especially because when I go out and look out my window, all I'm gonna see is snow on the ground, and I'm just gonna be like,
You know, the funny thing is, I was talking to my
oh,
daughter-in-law, who's Scottish and lives in Scotland, and I was showing her all the snow because it was snowing pretty much all weekend here. And she's like, "I'm so jealous. I want snow." And I'm like, "Yeah, you love snow because you think of it as a vacation thing, making snowmen, throwing snowballs. You know, I see snow, I think of shoveling and having to trudge through slush to get my
yeah,
groceries. You know, all the salt stains on the bottom of my pants. That's what I think of.
oh
You
yeah,
know, that's what I think of the snow. She's busy thinking about all the joyous little stuff. You know, that's what happens, right? Same way somebody lives on the beach and, you know, they're like, whatever, it's sand, it's grit, it's all over my house. I hate it. We're like,
and it's
I just want to be on a
grimy
beach.
and
Yeah. Anyways, the way it goes. So,
get it.
I like MSTR. It's a little over 1 million shares traded so far, so it doesn't look bad. I just wish it was trading a little bit below the VWAP, although the VWAP's not terribly relevant at this point, but we just don't have a lot of room. I like sort of pull-ups, so my Rising Devil strategy would have the stock moving higher at the open and then dropping, and I would want to trade the drop. That's what I'm thinking of for MSTR. That's my setup this morning that I'd be looking for. The challenge is that we have this VWAP, which is the blue line you can see on my chart, that runs right through the price action. Ideally, I'd love a move up to the top of this range, around 196.50. Then, if I could see the price action falter, I could take it short, and we could run all the way down here to... Sorry, I said that price wrong. 169.50. We could run all the way down to 166. That would be a great move, right? A nice $3 move on what could be about a 50-cent risk. So good risk to reward on that. The problem, as I said, is this VWAP in the middle. So we'll have to see what happens. I don't know MSTR well enough to know how it normally moves at the open, so we'll keep an eye on it. This daily volume is relatively low at 17 million, a little lower than I find ideal, but we'll keep an eye on it. The other one that we were looking at there at the open was this SNPS synopsis.
Yeah.
That news is good. I just look how flat it is. Like it really.
Right?
It's got no volume, so I'm thinking this may be a dud at the open. I'm not seeing a lot of interest leading into the open so far. Like we have about 3.5 minutes here before the opening bell, so things could change, but for the moment,
Yeah.
Synopsis is looking a little duddy. The other one that I didn't really put any range to that we were looking at is this AHMA, this Ambitions Enterprise Management Company. I mean, it's got volume, almost 13 million shares now. The thing is up 124%. Remember, this closed below $5 on Friday. So, but this is like your high risk, this is your low float, high risk stuff. So it's not quite garbagey, but here, I'll give you a garbage can because I haven't done it yet this morning. So there you go.
There we go.
There you go. It's just one of those that I don't love trading. If you have a strategy to trade this, but by all means, like it's in play, just know it's going to be risky. So it could be a tough trade. So we'll see what happens. Mike, have you sort of picked a target for this morning? What are you watching?
Well, I can't trade.
Oh, so it doesn't matter.
But I would be watching Tesla, Amazon. I'm kind of keeping an eye on there, and I'll call out. But I think John might end up joining you all because he's actually going to be trading. I'm disabled. Like it's so mean, so cruel.
Okay. All right.
I feel disappointed again.
We have
not only am I missing Thailand, now I can't even trade when I'm here, and I'm in the snow, and it's just. Bleh.
Yeah.
My only saving grace of light is that I got the email from Interactive Brokers saying that it was connected and I will be able to trade tomorrow morning, effective tomorrow morning. I'm like, yes, finally.
That's good. I saw people joining. I just realized Mike had Andrew, I think, had tried to join our feed here. I'm not sure if he can hear us in YouTube. Probably not.
Huh.
He's
I think because John just said he was going to try to join it, but I don't know where the feed is, so I'm not even.
Hopefully, I'm not. We're not overloaded. I can't see. I can't actually see the feed other than what I get through my tools here. So, in any event,
I'll let you know if he joins. The only person we have is Carlos.
Yeah, he's still connected. He's still connected, but it looks like he's obviously having trouble with the audio because I don't hear anything coming through. So I think I've got the volumes all pumped here. All right, there's my alarm, guys. We are now a minute from the open. Yeah, I'm gonna watch MSTR, so we're gonna keep an eye on this, see what happens. Again, I don't know what it's going to do. If I get a trade opportunity, I will take it. If not, well, then so be it, right? It's just going to be one of those things that we have to leave behind.
John's on the Zoom call, Peter, if you want to throw him in.
Okay.
Or no, he's not. Never mind. I don't know where he is. He said he was, and I'm like...
No, I don't see him here. No.
All right, you focus on your 1 minute trade, and we'll get John later.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I've got, I've got MSTR queued up. I'm also keeping an eye on my usual suspects here. I got to watch AMD. I got to watch NVIDIA. We'll just keep an eye to see what moves, and of course Tesla. Always got to watch Tesla. So, all right, opening bell in 2 seconds. Here we go. There's the bell. Let's see what happens. You know, the biggest risk I've got is MSTR may just drop here without me, and I never get an entry signal. But let's see. And you know what? I just realized what I forgot to do. I did not call up my Atlas. I need Atlas to tell me. Yeah, see, MSTR
Atlas, I'm telling you.
It is actually very good. It's a good tool. It's a little tough to use at the open just because volumes can change so quickly. But overall, yeah, it adds a lot of value. Now, I said MSTR, here's my problem, right? Yes, I got to move lower. My trade strategy requires it to sort of jump up before it drops, and I did not get a move higher. So while it's moving right down to that level I was talking about, right, 166 is exactly where I said I wanted it to move to. Unfortunately, I didn't get any type of pullback or entry opportunity. So it looks like I've missed this trade. That sucks to be me, but you know, I do that for a reason. I don't trade these things because I don't want to get caught if it already starts to move lower and then pops up on me, right? And then I get stopped out very quickly. So as much as, you know, it seems unfortunate that I missed the trade today, I still stick to my rules because I've learned they've served me well on average over the long term. So wow, look at this. So even better move than I had hoped for. MSTR moving down, just went down to 164. 17 was the low that it just set. Look at that. That's too bad. Well, look, we had the call, right? We understood the direction of the move, so I think that's good. I always, you know, I got to take that because that's a psychological win. I can say that, you know, at least I understood what was going to happen. It just didn't give me the signal to enter. Now I see John has joined us here this morning. Good morning, John. We should be able to hear you.
There we go.
Hey, guys. All right.
Hey, John.
I will drop off, Peter. Take care, everybody. I'll be with you all tomorrow because I'll be up with live trading and everything available. But we want to make sure people that can trade can actually be here with you all.
Sounds good. You threw me off. I didn't realize that was you, John, because you joined as Bear Bull Traders, not with your name. So that's cool.
Oh, I don't know.
That's all right. You're here. That's what matters. All right, guys.
Every day feels like the first day we ever used technology.
Well, we made it. MSTR did make a good move down. Some of the other stuff I'm watching, NVIDIA and AMD chopping around here a little bit at the open. Tesla got an initial move higher, but dropped back here again. For everybody out there that doesn't know John has been with us for a very long time, and he's a very active high of day break trader, which means on this type of day where the markets aren't high of day breaky, you may find it tough to find some trades, but hopefully you can.
And we'll see how it goes. I mean, a lot of times a down day turns into a recovery day, so We'll see, but the initial candles here look very choppy. Um, I think it's hard to tell, but
Right.
I'm just going to give this a few minutes to work itself out.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Well, that's I'm doing the same thing. I said I called that initial trade on MSTR. It absolutely got the drop. I said, unfortunately, I didn't get the pullback I needed to make an entry on the trade, which is unfortunate. However, did anybody out there get it? If you got the trade on MSTR, that's good. Take some profit for me. So I see Chris is saying that he made his goal already on NVIDIA. A 2-minute day. Well, let's see. What is NVIDIA doing? Oh, yeah. Drop and then a pop up. Yeah, not my strategy, but it is pushing to high of day right now. So there you go. NVIDIA getting a little bit of a move higher. I see Amazon's also green. Maybe moving higher. So we are getting a move on a couple of things here. PLTR that I'm keeping an eye on, a drop, and now it's back up to the open price, so not too much to write home about, as they say.
Yeah, PLTR is pushing for that high a day. It's at the pre-market low, which isn't a level I particularly usually worry about, but I'm just going to let that one go for now.
That's fair. AMD, you're saying, had a good move? What did AMD do? It didn't really. I mean, yeah, I guess AMD did move higher. Very choppy to me. See these wicks? I don't like this sort of wicky movement. So yeah, you might have been able to get a move on it. That would have been like, would have been a nervous type of move for me, unless you got in at a very, very good price. But if you caught it, Walden, then hopefully that's serving you well. You made some money on that this morning.
This is starting as a pretty low volume day, Peter. I've noticed the SPY RVOL's at 54%, and all my top 12 stocks are below 100. A lot of them far below. Like AMD's at 55, Apple's at 44, which is very low.
Yeah.
So yeah, not a lot of interest here this morning, but that can change. Sometimes these numbers start to increase as the day goes on.
You know, and it's funny. I didn't notice that till you just mentioned it, but you're right that the volume all over is lower. It looks like some of the tech are a little higher. The Qs are at 89% RVOL versus, but you said the SPY is at 53 right now on my chart. So, yeah, relatively low volume this morning.
You can kind of feel it in the candles sometimes. You know, like there's just something about all these charts this morning that seems hesitant. A lot of pushes up and down and chop, and sometimes it feels like that. Whenever I see that, I always remember to look at the RVOL and the SPY, and a lot of times when I see what looks like this, I don't know, it's hard to put a word on. Just not great opening behavior. It ends up being that the market's kind of low volume.
Yeah, it's a good veteran observation there, right? When you've been doing this for a while, you sort of can get a feel for things. That's where you can trust your gut because you've earned the gut feeling. As opposed to, I always tell people, if you're new and you think you have a gut feeling, ignore it. It's not a gut feeling. That's a gut feeling like you have a gut feeling you're going to win the lottery. You don't know. You're filling in the gaps of your knowledge with hopes and dreams. So ignore that feeling. But I think we can trust John's. He's been doing this for a long time. So we are getting a little bit of a push higher on a lot of stuff right now. AMD is pushing higher. I see NVIDIA is now pushing up to a new high of day. So volume hasn't really picked up, but we're getting a little bit more movement anyways. Looks like that move on MSTR really was just those opening couple of candles. Now we sort of hit a bottom there at 164 and are bouncing back a little bit. So could be the funds over on MSTR already. Go back and keep an eye on some of these. I like it. I like NVIDIA. It's where would it have to go? It has to go to 177 to get green, so it's not that far away. It's definitely within range here. That would happen. That would put it just above where it had done a lot of consolidation on Friday as well after the close. So I had to keep in mind that the close was at 1 o'clock on Friday. So all that price action I was seeing between 1 and 4 was actually after the close.
Coin's just gone over its high of the day. That was actually it was the only stock in my top 12 that had an RVOL over 100%. It's around 143 right now. So a little more interest in coin, which probably means Bitcoin's moving today. Is that the case?
Yeah, I see coin is up here. Bitcoin had been down. The price had been down earlier. Let's see what it's doing right now. Yeah, no, it's still going down a little bit. Bitcoin is now at 86,500 when it was at 87 earlier this morning when we were looking at it. It looks like it hit a low of 84.7 or something like that just a few minutes ago. So
I take it back. I was picturing maybe Bitcoin was helping coin move here, but it's not always the case.
No. That's interesting. All right, guys, keeping an eye on things. So, if you know my trading, right? This is the time that I don't typically have a lot of trades. This is the time when some others, such as John, can get good trades if things decide to move. For me, it's either an open trade or I've got to wait for the bigger setups, which usually happen a little bit later in the morning. I don't know that I'm going to get those opportunities today, but if I see something, I won't be shy on jumping on it, but I'm not going to force any trades.
My potential missed opportunity so far is NVIDIA, although by my trade book, I wouldn't take that trade because it's just a minute or two early. And I try to wait 5 minutes. I try to be good about that. And it broke out on the fourth 1 minute candle. So I can't really, beat myself up about that, but it did make a nice move. About $1.50.
Yeah, that's fair. It was probably after that first drop and then pop. It was one of the better moving ones here this morning. Oh, you got Amazon? I see somebody's yelling at Amazon happily. What's Amazon up to? Ugh, Amazon looks pretty ugly to me.
It looks rough, yeah. I don't know what the trade is there.
Ajit Boston, you're saying Amazon. I'm not sure what you see in it, but yeah, it doesn't look great to me.
I'm going to assume he got in near the open probably, and he's in the money.
Yeah, it could have been. So, sometimes that entry position makes all the difference in your perception of how something's going, right? Tesla just made a big move back here to VWAP, so it's dropped a little bit. NVIDIA is still the one I want to see. It feels like it's in a position where it could go green. Let's see what what Atlas is telling me on NVIDIA. Where do the orders sit? Yeah, they do sit to the top side. It does look like there's a little more volume sitting there looking to pull this thing higher at Friday's close at 177, as well as higher at 180. So.
What's funny about trading sometimes, Peter, is you'll hear comments from people and, it'll make you look at a chart. Someone will say, oh, AMD's popping, and I'll pull up AMD and I'll think to myself, it's not real popping at all, really, but if to someone else's perspective, it is, maybe they've been staring at it and they're trying to catch a 20-cent move, whereas I'm looking for a dollar move. And to them and what they're trying to accomplish, it is popping. So just the good thing to remember here as you trade in a community or in a YouTube chat, just take everyone's comments with a bit of grain of salt, because you never know what they're trying to do with their trade. Oh, damn, there goes NVIDIA again.
Excellent point. Yeah, I'm just watching that as NVIDIA pops here, and like we just predicted, right? It looks like it's going for that Friday close here at 177. It's only a couple of cents away. Technically, it actually hit 177. I didn't see it happen, but somebody traded at least one share at 177. So. But yeah, got the pop.
So that would be a good entry for NVIDIA, but what I would suspect would have happened, and it did, it broke the high a day, and then it rejected off of PDC right around 177. So the problem is, like, I could have taken that trade, got a good entry, got into the green, maybe moved my stop to break even, but I would have been stopped out at break even right. When it rejects off PDC. So there's just a little bit of room to play there, but it's such a tough level to get through.
Yeah, and I can't remember. Do you watch like the overall market at the same time? Like I find, when you get something like I look at the Qs chart, and it was dropping heavy at the same time that NVIDIA was moving higher. That opposite direction can make it tough sometimes for those moves to continue.
It does, yeah. No, I always have I use the SPY as a proxy for what the market's doing, and I've
Right.
always used that, and it works pretty well.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
works
it's
too.
hard some mornings though. Sometimes the market's just not moving your way, and then there's a stock that is, and you're like, man, should I trade against the entire ocean here, and take this or not? And sometimes I
Yeah.
do, and I get painfully reminded that it's not a good idea. Usually not a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got to have some very strong individual news or some big catalyst for it to move consistently against the market.
Yeah. Yeah.
Up or down, frankly. But all right, guys. Hopefully you got a couple of trades, or if not, you're being very cautious, right? And you're keeping that powder dry. I know I am. I have not found a trade yet this morning. We had talked about MSTR before the open as my target trade. It did drop as we had sort of estimated, and to the level we had called. However, it didn't give me the entry signal I needed, so it was unfortunately no trade opportunity. And I think, John, you're probably in the same position as you said. You sort of got some moves, but without the entry signal you were looking for. So looks like we're both just watching
I actually
so far.
just took an entry on coin for high day
Okay.
break here, and it's just a smidge green. But this is very difficult because the spread on coin is very tricky. It's very big for the price, and so basically, I'm hanging right at my entry here. It's
Okay.
and I'm into the second candle, and it's not really working out. I'm gonna get out of that. Actually, I'm just gonna leave that one for now.
We did get there would have been a potential, you could, on the pullback on NVDA, it pulled back and then did pop up to the high of day and green. So it went through Friday's close. We're now 50, 60 cents above that close price. So good little move there if you're interested in playing that momentum. But I mean, the opportunity's passed at this point. I love it, guys. We're still getting images in from Thailand. Let's show you what's happening here. Everybody's, look at Paris, concentrating so hard on his trades. Here we go. Here you can see another photo from Thailand as everybody's sitting in that conference room. This is one half of it, or a corner of it anyways, as everybody trades. It's cool. God, every one of these pictures makes me wish I was there. Oh well, what can you do? But not you, John. I'm sure you're happy to be at home.
I saw the picture of the yoga mats, and I was like, I'm glad I'm at home.
It's not mandatory yoga. They wouldn't force you to do it.
I feel like it would be. I don't know. It'd be highly suggested yoga. I wouldn't want to disappoint Andrew on the things he had planned. So it's probably best that I'm just back here in snowy New Hampshire.
Yeah. Did you stick with coin? You got this move?
I got out, and it is moving. So yeah, tricky little candle there. But yeah, it's going. The market's in the right direction, as we were talking about that. Trade with the tide, trade with the ocean, and it is going up at the moment. So it's helping a lot of these longs work out. AMD, beautiful break. Didn't get that one.
See that? Yeah.
NVIDIA I never would have taken because it's at PDC. I don't take high day breaks at the previous day close. It's just not a good idea. But that went very clean. Sometimes they do.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point that it's worth reminding everybody of, because I know I said this before, but it bears repeating. Don't let a single instance of a trade working make you think, be upset that you missed it, right? Like, again, I'll go back to my MSTR trade at the open. It did exactly what I'd said, but it didn't give me the entry signal I needed. So that's okay. Sometimes you just have to accept that you're going to miss these things, because I know on average, it's not good to go chasing these things. So while, like John, you were just saying, like NVIDIA, hey, yeah, this looks like a nice clean move. And you're like, I should have taken that. But you know what? I'm willing to bet that if you did, more times than not, it's not going to work. And you're going to find yourself on the wrong side of the trade. And there's a reason why we have our rules and we stick to them, because they help us, do the right thing, on a large data set a large number of times. That's the point, right? Consistency.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this morning I'm sitting on, I took one trade, I got out, it took off. I missed a couple others that look obvious in hindsight, but I've been here 1,000 times. Literally, I've had so many mornings just like this one, and it's no big deal. It's. I guess what I'm saying is the power of doing the same thing every day in trading is you become accustomed to the good times and the missed opportunities and the bad times, whatever. But it all feels very familiar. But if you jump all over the place and different ideas and strategies, you never kind of find your footing, then it's hard to nail down mentally and psychologically what should bother you and what shouldn't, I guess.
Right.
So, food for thought.
Indeed.
Also, a lot of days where breaks are happening nicely this time of day, it often means they'll happen later too. There's some good strength. There's some bullishness in AMD and NVIDIA, and it doesn't mean it's over. Just got to wait for the next opportunity.
Yep. Also a fair point. AMD is looking pretty good here as it's moving higher, up over 219 now. So there you go.
Yeah, that's nice. I'm gonna have to send that to Eamon for a little example that he can put on the website.
Hive day break that actually worked. Yeah.
Yeah. So the SPY looks like it just got up to pre-market high, and there's a daily level too. What's that one? That is the low from Friday.
That would be a low from Wednesday, actually. Oh, no, you're right. Low from Friday. My bad. Low from Friday, yeah.
So we're trying to get into yesterday's range, which can be an interesting level to watch the market try to fight its way into.
So, random question, because I think if anybody has done it, it might be you, John. Have you ever deep fried a turkey?
No, I have not.
No, eh? Because it's
tempting. I don't like to.
Yeah. At this time of year, I keep seeing all the videos of. They're always the videos of the people that are deep frying a turkey, and something goes drastically wrong, and everything catches on fire. And I'm thinking, with how many videos there seem to be of everything catching on fire, why do people persist? It doesn't seem like the smartest thing to do. But then again, I guess we don't always do the smartest thing, do we?
I think it often boils down to impatience. If that turkey is not completely thawed, you do not want to drop it in boiling oil. I know that much, and it's hard to thaw a turkey all the way. It's takes a week or so. So I think a lot of people kind of throw caution to the wind and then toss it in there, and it doesn't go well.
Yeah, water and boiling oil, especially if you've ever done that. Yes, you know it's it is a mess. So.
It
all
looks
right,
great.
well,
I'm just not interested in having 4 gallons of oil left over when I'm done.
well, there's that too, but let alone the whole burning the house down thing. But I suppose you could do it out in the middle of the yard or something, but it also seems like...
I don't know anybody that doesn't do it in the middle of their yard. You're not supposed to do it indoors.
Right.
It's a little safety tip for everybody out there. It should not be done inside your house.
No, absolutely not. But people seem to go the halfway, where they put it in the garage. Oh yeah, that's good. It's almost outside. No, It's not. Yeah. Incorrect.
In the garage with all the flammable rags and gasoline.
That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna create a tire fire. Oh man.
No.
Speaking of which, I was watching a back episode of The Americans this weekend. And in the episode, there was a guy who he handcuffed a guy, then put a tire around him, poured gasoline on him, and lit him on fire. What a horrible way to die. A burning tire. Anyway.
Yeah, that was popular in certain parts of the world back in the 80s. There was a favorite means of disposing of people. Yeah, it's quite nasty.
Anyways.
I will pass on the opportunity.
Yeah, agreed.
No, thank you.
Thanks, but no thanks. Yeah. So I'm just watching NVIDIA here as it pulls back a little bit. So is AMD. So, I don't know if it's pulling back, getting ready for another move, or if it's pulling back because maybe the excitement is done for the moment. But one way or the other, it's momentum has slowed. Tesla didn't end up making any great moves today. It did make that move higher. Would have been a little difficult for me anyways. It did end up going green and then came right back down. Now it's sitting around VWAP here in the average price. So I'm not sure how much movement we're going to get out of Tesla today. Looking, how about some of the, I didn't even look at some of these quantum stocks. Doesn't look like they're doing much here today. How's your coin doing? Yeah, coin has stopped its upward momentum, so moving sideways as well.
Sometimes I feel lucky to have been in and out of coin with very little damage. I'm not sure I'm going to dip my toe back in that one.
That's fair. That's fair. Like you said, coin can have a very variable spread, right? That spread can get very big at times, especially when you get a stock like NVIDIA, for example, which trades at a lower price but a much tighter spread. So the spread, by the way, for anybody that's new out there, that'll be the difference between the bid and ask, and it's an amount that you normally lose on a trade, right? Normally, if there's a big spread, 20 cents, for example, basically it's the second you enter the trade, you're going to be in a 20-cent loss position times however many shares you've got. So it's often better to be in a trade that's, the lowest spread you can get. Sometimes you can get a 1 or 2 or 5 cent spread. Those are great because that reduces the amount that you lose the second you enter the trade, that you have to sort of make up with movement. So big spreads when they get up to $1, which can happen on various different stocks, it just makes it that much more difficult. You need a bigger move just to overcome that spread differential. Yeah, and I mean, I said I was watching The Americans, which is a show that was set back in the 70s, 80s, early 80s, I guess. So, makes sense. But yeah. And it was
It's a good show.
South
Got Kerry Russell's in there, right?
Yep. Yeah. It's funny because my wife and I had watched The Diplomat, which is a good show that Kerry Russell stars in, a fairly new one, and then we went back and watched The Americans. We're like, it's pretty much the same character. It's like same personality, anyways. It seems like so, but it's both good shows. Meta, somebody's watching Meta, says it's at high of day. Let's see. Oh yeah, big bit of push higher here on Meta.
Look at that.
Thanks for pointing that out. Dow Jones, 55.85. It's tough ever since. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Meta's another fairly spready stock, although you start to understand it at $650 a share. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah, the higher the price, the easier it can be to overcome the spread, of course, because it can make a bigger range. A $1 move on a $600 stock is a lot different than a $1 move on a $100 stock. So
right. That's why it gets tough to understand when I should move my stop, because I like to move my stop to break even to get our trade risk free when it's working out. And with a spready stock, it's tough because if Apple moves 20 cents above my entry, I might move my stop to break even, but 20 cents is nothing on coin because it's just flashing back and forth 20 cents. And
right.
So I need $1 on coin, maybe more sometimes, and it gets very tricky.
Exactly. Yeah. You're asking, is Powell coming in 2 minutes? No, he's not speaking till later tonight. As far as I can tell, I think he's got an address, but it's at like 8 o'clock this evening, so that's not going to benefit or affect your trading one way or the other. We do, in about 2 minutes, have the ISM manufacturing data that should come out. About 15 minutes ago, we did have the S&P global manufacturing PMI data. Came out a little more positive than expected. but not significantly. I don't think the market movement was due to that. Although, interestingly, the market did sort of take off right at that time, right at 9:45. If I bring up a chart of the SPY, you can see it was 9:45 when it sort of decided to make that move. So maybe the data had more of an impact than I'm giving it credit for. So we'll see. The ISM manufacturing, like I said, coming out at 10 o'clock, so just over a minute from now. And we'll see if that also comes in a little positive. Let's show you guys on the screen here. Here's the economic data. So we'll come back to that when the data is released. APLD, you're liking that? Not one that we've looked at this morning. What did Applied Digital do this morning? Yeah, I mean, it's an okay move. Consistently higher here this morning. Not a huge range, but it's interesting on the daily here. Look at this. It's right within this range that it set on Friday. And if you can break higher here, then you've got some good room to the top side, up into this gap that it had set back in October. Let's see. And this gap area here is one to keep an eye on, from 30 to 33 almost. Hopefully, if it's something you were watching, you were able to get a trade on it. All right, here we go. It is 10 o'clock. Let's see. The economic data came out. And interesting, the ISM manufacturing data came out a little bit below the target. So whereas the earlier data was a little bit better than expected, this one came out a little bit lower. It's all a relative scale, but it was expected to be a data point of 49. It actually came out at 48.2, so a little bit lower than anticipated. We'll see what if the market reacts to that. I'm not sure that we're going to see a big reaction, frankly. The data largely has been something the market has shrugged off, but who knows? It's a new week. It's a new month. Could be a new attitude. All right. So, John, you just had that one trade you tried on coin. That was about it.
Actually, I've tried couple stabs on Tesla here, and I'm in it again. So this is
okay.
below the high a day. Trying to see if it'll get going here. I'm speechless watching it just hover at my entry here.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's hope it does for you. Like we mentioned at the top of the show, everybody, we unfortunately need to cut the show short compared to our normal program here today. So we're going to let John manage that trade as he stares intently. Looks like, come on, Tesla, go green for, there you go. There you go. Look at, is he almost smiling? He's close.
I don't think I smile much when I trade. Good or bad. That's not something my face wants to do.
Fair enough. So, guys, we're going to leave you for the morning. Unfortunately, I didn't get any trades today, but hey, that's sometimes the way it goes. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, regular time for the pre-market show, so hopefully you'll join us then. Thanks a lot for watching and for being here. We absolutely appreciate it. And John, thanks for joining. And Mike, of course, who was here earlier. Yeah, have a great day, everybody.